You are now listening to Straight Talk, No Chaser with Hadassah.
Welcome to all my loyal listeners to my first podcast. And finally we are here, Straight Talk, No Chaser. And my podcast is about keeping it real about everything that concerns the Hebrew community. So my name is Hadassah. For those of you who don't know me, I have a YouTube channel which is called The Hidden Ones. And my niche is trying to wake up fellow Caribbeans to their true identity. So at this time, I'd like to big up some of my peeps, which are the Negro Only crew. I'd also like to big up Hebrew Israelite, the Awakening group on Facebook, where we keep it real and telling the truth of who we are. I'd also like to big up Gird Up Nation. They have a Facebook page that they also are here to wake up the true Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. And I'd also like to big up Beat Slaps for all your audio needs.
You are now listening to Straight Talk, No Chaser with Hadassah.
Your head, oh head.
Hey,
Da 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 da. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Yo, his name is Yahuwah. Put respect on his name. I ain't wearing no cross on my neck with no chain. I don't bow down to Jesus. I don't bow down to idols. Ayy, I bow my head in prayer. I submit to the Bible. Christianity itself is religious deception. And these pastors take your money. They traditions is pagan. Ayy, I gotta tell the truth. And I may lose some fans. Cause I'm as real as I am. Ayy, I may lose some bands. Tell me why they mad. Ayy, tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad. Ayy, tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. So they all so mad. Your head, oh head. Da 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 da. Your head, oh head. Da 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 da. I'm like, ooh. Why they mad at me? Yo, they running from the truth, grab their bags and they flee. The Most High don't lie, the truth matters to me. I don't let a lie fester unilaterally. Messiah and his people, yo, they didn't speak English. And the Greeks changed his name from Myesis to Jesus. If his name doesn't matter, then why did they remove it? There is power in his name, they don't want you to use it. Yasharel waking up and we forming a movement. We returning to his laws and we seeing improvement. You presented with the truth that's been laid in this beat. Yahuwah and Yahusha, whatever language you speak. Yeah, tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. So the moral story is, the name of the Most High is Yahuwah. In Paleo, that's spelled Yod Head Uah Head. The name of the Son is Yahusha. That's spelled Yod Head Uah Shin Ayin. It's not God, it's not Lord, and it's not Jesus Christ. Put some respect on their names.
Hey, yes, sir.
You are now listening to Straight Talk, No Chaser with Hadassah.
Today I have a very special guest with me, and I would like to introduce him. And he is the first guest on my podcast. And he is a father, of two. He is a husband of a beautiful Israelite woman. He's also a member of the Negro-only crew. He's my brother and my friend, and his name is Etienne Ju. Welcome, Etienne.
Welcome.
It's so good to have you on the show, my first podcast. And I'm so happy that you accepted my invite to come on my podcast.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, so let's jump right into it. So today we're going to be discussing who are the true Israelites. Let's jump right into it.
The true Israelites are the Negroes scattered to the four corners of the earth, to the Caribbean, our brothers and sisters who are left in Africa, and also, of course, the African diaspora, and also our brothers and sisters who went to India, Australia, and Oceania, those type of places. All Negro melanated people that fit the curses of Deuteronomy 28 and Leviticus 26.
Correct. I was telling somebody recently that growing up into Christianity, growing up in my life, I never knew that we were Israelites, that Negro people were Israelites. It's a funny thing that after you find out that you're an Israelite, there are so much mixed emotions. Sometimes you feel happy that you're happy that you found out that you're Israelite. Then there's anger because this truth has been hidden all this time, all your life. So if you're into your 20s or your 30s, just finding out that you're an Israelite, so much time has been wasted. And I know the Most High is waking up his people to this truth that the Negroes are the true biblical Israelites.
That's true. We are the true biblical Israelites. That's written in the Bible.
So we have people like, as we will say, the Ish people who claim to be the Israelites, and they are living in the land that's supposed to belong to the true Israelites. What do you think about these people?
Yeah, like it says in Revelation 2 and 9 and 3 and 9, that the prophecies must be fulfilled, and that's how history went. And if you look out through all of history, the Most High prophesied all these things, and the Ish people have done everything he said. And we as a nation, because we work contrary to the Most High, that's why we're in this condition.
Yeah, correct. And when you look at it, coming back to who the Israelites are, we, in all the people on the face of the earth, we fit the description. When we look at Deuteronomy 68, and even that whole 28:68, when we look at that whole chapter, it perfectly describes us as a people. There is no other nation, no other people under the sun that could fit this perfect description. The curses that befell us as a people, it fits us perfectly. When you look at it, it really does. And I know a lot of people make claims to who the Israelites are. Even the Ish people that we just mentioned, who is living in that land that's supposed to be for the original Israelites. They claim to be the people, and they do not fit any of the curses. They do not fit perfectly at all. They do not fit it entirely. So anyone, it's plain to see that these people are not the people of the book. And the Israelites, the true Israelites, the Negro people who are scattered abroad, descendants from the transatlantic slave trades, are the people of the book, the true biblical Israelites. People who you'll find in the Caribbean islands, Central America, North America, South America, and even scattered abroad. Negro people, melanated people, are the true Israelites.
Yeah, that's true. That's very correct what you're saying. That we are the biblical Israelites, and this truth must come forth.
Yeah, and growing up, they used to tell us that we have the curse of Ham, and we totally two different separate people. We are not Ham. We are not the Hamites. We are the Negroes. And if you know biblical history, it shows the Negroes and the Hamites are two separate people. The same way the white people have different, they are whites, But we have the Italians, the Syrians, the Scandinavians. They're all under the Caucasian banner, but they are different people in their own right. It's the same way we as Negroes are not the same as Hamite people. We're two different people. And this is what people need to realize, that they cannot put us all under one banner. Seeing that we know who the Israelites are, and we perfectly fit the description, we went through all of the curses in the Bible, in that Deuteronomy 28 chapter, where verse 68 says that we would be brought back to Egypt in ships. And when you look at the transatlantic slave trade, you see where we as Negro people been stolen from our land, and we have been brought here in ships, as history shows, and we have been scattered to all these nations. And when you look at other nations who claim to be Israelites, they are not scattered. The Negro people who have been scattered and dispersed, who were taken into slavery, and who have suffered so many hardships and brutality as we as a people, they have no claim. There's nothing that they could stand on saying that they are the people of the book. We certainly know that we are the true people, and we fit every description.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true, because we fit every description. And it says, in the scripture it says that, how should I say, we would be hated amongst all nations. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter where you go in all the parts of the world, everybody wants to see you low and never high. Even your own people. That's the most sad part.
And what do you think about other people besides the Ish people who claiming to be us? There are a lot of people who, at this point of time, claiming to be us, and we could jump into that when it comes to that chart. And I know that's a big staple in our community as Hebrews, that everybody claiming to be us. And we have this chart that is going around right now that anybody in the Hebrew community will know about. That fake 12 tribe chart that shows different nations are also Israelites. And let's discuss that a little bit. What do you think about that chart? What are your thoughts on that chart?
It's a man-made chart made by a man named Arya, who was the leader of, the Hebrew community in the One West camp in New York. And he came with that chart, and he said plenty of time that all the Hebrew Israelites, the Israelite people that the people that the book is talking about, that is our Negro people and nobody else. So he even admitted it, but nobody wants to hear that, because they are so invested in the lie. And yeah, these camps have truly put them in a position where nobody should be in it. But yeah, that's what they have done.
But my question to that is, to my understanding, you could correct me if I'm wrong, when we go to the script teaches us that the tribes that have been scattered is Judah, and Judah consists of some of Benjamin and Levi. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, on that chart it shows all the different tribes on that chart. And if it's only Judah have been scattered to the four corners of this world, or scattered within the regions of the Americas, how come it have all the other different tribes on that chart? That don't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at all, and that's what they made up.
Correct.
It's a made up chart that it's basically, if you know it, it's for a commercial reason, so that they get got a lot of benefits, subsidies from the government, that if they pick this other nation in, that they get subsidies and it will be better for them, but it's not biblical.
When you look at that, that whole chart, that whole scenario around that chart, when I look at that chart, Etienne, I could see most of it, the different people who they claim to be us, which we know is not us. And when you look, you see most of these Israelite men and women are getting married to these people. And when you look at it, you could see basically there's a lot of lust involved. Because there's no reason if you really know your scriptures that any one of these people could be us. Now, the script also said we're going to be scattered as a people. And as we said, we identify who the Israelites are, which are the Negro people who were in the transatlantic slave trade and scattered abroad. If we are the people, right, these other people that they claim to be us, like the Hispanics and the Mexicans and the Native Americans, how come they are not scattered? One of the curses that would have befall the Israelite people would have been scattered to all nations of the world. And if you go to any nation of the world, you're going to find Negro people. If you go to Europe, you're going to find us. If you go to China, you're going to find us. Brazil, anywhere you'll find us. But these people that they claim to be Israelites on these charts, they're not scattered all over the world. You wouldn't find big group of these people on other continents, like how you'll find Negro people all over the world. So that alone in itself could show that chart is nonsense. It's nonsense.
That's very true. That's very true. And these people, most of the time, they don't even want to associate with Negroes. When they're
Correct.
in this part of the world, they always associate with, they get out most of the time because the country is so poor. They get most of the time get adopted by white people, and most of the time they don't even want to deal with you. They can talk with you, but on a greater scale of level that they see as their brother, no.
Exactly. And as I was telling one of my brothers in Negrozonia, we always have these discussions as a family. When we were in slavery as a people, when our ancestors were enslaved, none of these people wanted to be us. None of them wanted to be identified with us because, as you know, slavery was a brutal thing in the United States of America, in the Caribbean, wherever it was, slavery was really bad for us as a people. And even back then, these people didn't want to identify with us. They didn't want to be associated with being black. Even if they didn't know us as Israelites, they didn't want to be associated with us. How all of a sudden, it's okay to be associated with us now. And I'll always say this, if today or tomorrow, these people who claiming to be Israelites, if today or tomorrow, the Most High forbid, we were to go back into slavery, these so-called people who say they're Israelites, they're gonna say they never knew us or they're not part of us. They're gonna reject us because they wouldn't want to go through or wouldn't want to face what we will have to face as Israelites, as people who have always been suffered under the hands of our oppressors. So how all of a sudden everybody, now that we are ascending to the mountaintop, now that the Most High is lifting days dawning and he's lifting all our afflictions and our curses, and the mantle have been lifting from us the curses we have been through, how all of a sudden everybody want to be us? I'll always question that. How all of a sudden they want to be us and associate with us.
People always want to associate with good, but not with the bad and the ugly. And like we said, if God forbid we went through slavery again, they would not want to be with us and neither want to be associated with us. But that being said, our captivity is ending, salvation is near, so we have to endure to the end. But don't have it in your mind for one moment that these people love you. It's just to act, just to get along. Because if all of a sudden everything pops up and tribulation comes, they will let you know they never loved you. That it just was just to act.
Correct, and I totally agree with that. And some people say, but why you Israelites keep saying the 12 tribes of Israel are Negroes only? Didn't your ancestors get raped during slavery, so you must have some white blood in you? And they keep saying things like that 12 tribes cannot be Negro. Now, when you look at Deuteronomy 23:8, it talks about the third generation. Those mixed children could only enter into the third generation, which means it was going to be hard for you. Once you mix your seed, it's going to be hard for you to get back that bloodline. Now, the ones who say that we are mixed people because our ancestors been raped by these white people, by our oppressors, look how long slavery has ended. It's more than 3 generations have passed. So how could we still be mixed? Even if there is a trace of white blood, the Most High said within the 3rd generation, that bloodline will be able to enter into the congregation. So more than 3 generations have passed in slavery. So it shows that whatever their point is, we are not mixed people. We are the true Negro people. Even though our ancestors have been raped by the 3rd generation, we are back to a pure bloodline. Once we keep marrying into being married to an Israelite person, not of any other race, we're going to get back the bloodline. Yeah, so that in itself shows that point that they're trying to say, because our ancestors been raped, how could we claim to be only Negroes only? Yes, we could claim to be Negroes only because 3 generations have more than been passed in slavery. And once we keep marrying another Israelite person, the bloodline going to get back pure and stable. And this brings me to my next point about people mixing their seed. And I just want to touch on that a little bit. It shows how much you have to go through to get back your bloodline pure.
Yeah.
This is why the Most High told us that we should not be entering marriages with the other nations. We should be sticking to our Israelite brother and sister and marry these people, marry one another to keep the bloodline pure. So this is where this scripture in Deuteronomy 23:8 even justifies or even reiterates how it's important for us to marry within our community.
Yeah, because, like you said, that after 3 generations, you can come back in. But the thing is they always say that just to make you feel bad about yourself and doubt yourself and thinking that you're not the chosen one. But it says these curses will be on us for a sign and a wonder. But the thing is, like it said, mixing your seed is a curse. And he put a curse on us to say that this would fall upon us. But now, if you look at this world, people act like mixing your seed with Esau, the Edomite, is a blessing, when it's basically a curse.
Correct. And another thing they like to do is, I have this mixed child and the child is so beautiful, the child has curly hair and the child has lighter skin and this and that. And I think the indoctrination of Christianity and the way the slave masters have manipulated us to think during our enslavement, our ancestors think that being white is right and anything mixed with white is better than the pure bloodline. And this is where we have to change our paradigm to realize that everything about us is good as Negroes, as Israelites. Our hair, our woolly hair is beautiful. Our dark skin hue or whatever hues we come in is beautiful. Because the Most High has chosen us as a people. And the Most High has blessed us. And when we look at Daniel and we look at Revelations, we see where it had described what the Most High looked like and what the Hamashiach looked like. And according to these descriptions in the scriptures, we could see that he looks like the Israelites. Our Elohim looks like us. The woolly hair, the dark skin, it's all throughout the scriptures. The book is about us, the Israelites. And people fail to realize this.
Yeah, it is not a religious book. When we went to captivity, they changed that book into it's for everybody, but it's not it. It's only for the Israelites, the biblical Israelites. But now they have created this pagan religion that was done for the Messiah. They have this pagan religion, and they want to include everybody. So now the whole world thinks that it's about everybody, but it's only about the Israelites. it's only meant for one nation, and in this time and day, they will call it racist, and that it's not good that only one people is special and the rest is not. But that's what the Bible says.
And listen, the thing is, everything, people just like to conveniently put down Israelite people. When we were down and under everyone's feet and they putting us down, nobody had anything to say. As soon as we begin to realize who we are as a people and our eyes begin to open up to this truth and we start to embrace our true identity, the descendants of the true biblical Israelites, everybody have a problem with it. They find we are racist, we speak hate because we stand up for one another and we stand up on the truth of the Holy Scripture and what it says about us. And knowing who we are, it brings pride in who you are as a people. And when you know, like when I was in Christianity and I didn't know who I was at that time, and the pastor preached about Israelites in the scriptures, these people used to sound far off to me. I would never think that I was one of these people. I was an Israelite myself. But now that you know who you are, and when you hear the powerful stories of Samson, when you hear the story about the Hamashiach and King David and Solomon and Abraham and Jacob, and you hear your beautiful lineage, you have some sense of belonging, of being, and you feel good about these things. And now that you know who you are as a people and you stand up for this truth, all the other nations seem to have a problem with it. How you're prideful, you're this, you're that. I even heard somebody said in one of the groups I belong to that the only reason the Most High had us as a people is to use us to bring other nations into the fold. So we are not the apple of the Most High's eye. So in other words, he's saying we are not the apple of his eye. We are not the people that he loved, promised to Abraham that he's going to make us a great and mighty nation. This is what this person is saying. And when I look at the person, they were not an Israelite. They say they were so-called cleaving, and I realized they were from another nation. So this is what they want us to think of ourselves, that we are nothing. And even though we are waking up to the truth, we are still nothing in their eyes. And sometimes you have to listen to the subtleties of what people speak. They could sense the racism, even though they say they're cleaving. So you have to be very careful with that as well.
Yeah, that's true that they don't want to hear it, but when the Ish people were saying it, nobody had a problem. Nobody said nothing. As soon as the true people of the book stand up, everybody got a problem, and they come with all types of excuses. How shall I say it? To make their point valid. And you have to watch out. And the thing is, even amongst our own nation, we got this. So even that, Norm, in the truth, I don't talk with a lot of things about my family. And if you're thinking like that, I don't talk to my family at all, because they don't want to hear it at all. They get angry. They don't want to hear it. They think it's nonsense. So I leave them in their how should I say it, from it. Let them stay there, because they are going to upset you, because they're in their eyes, we're Negroes, we're nothing, we're always going to stay nothing. And that's how beautiful the world is, and that's how you should accept it.
Yeah, and the scripture really said that the Hamashiach said, don't think that I've come to bring peace, but I've come to bring a sword. And sometimes your enemies just be within your own household. And while we're on that note, is really starting to see sometimes when you go on TikTok or Facebook or any of social media, and you look for people, when you look at certain things, you realize that some of the people that are bashing who we are as Israelites are our very own people. And you know, the other nations might say, you all are not Israelites, and I don't believe the Negroes are the Israelites. Okay, well, good. All well and good. I don't really bother with people like that. But when you see it come from your own brother, your own sister, a fellow Israelite, maybe they're not aware, well, I guess not, they're not aware who they are, but when you see it comes from them, it's very painful to see that they're so blind to who they are, to their true identity, that they don't even know that they are the biblical Israelites, and they'll keep bashing those of us who are awakened to this truth. Is very sad. It's a really sad thing. But in spite of it all, the Most High be blessed and praised in all things, because He knows the ones who are His, and He knows the ones who are going to be waking up to this truth. And all we can really do is pray for them.
Yeah, because it's sometimes wonders, because if you tell the truth, people will not believe you, call you crazy. It's gonna be such a point that I won't even mention it. You will do your, things you gotta do. Go and do it on yourself, because they have become like heathens. They don't want to hear about it at all. And then they want to talk about how this and that happens with the black people. But if you say the truth, they don't want to hear it. So basically, you don't talk. And how shall I say it? I'm thinking about myself. In the time of Corona, was a difficult time, and you see how the world was going. And I'm thinking about myself. If you didn't wake up that time, I'm very doubtful that you're gonna be in the 1/3. Because if you see how that time went, and you had enough time for yourself, physically, mentally, spiritually, to prepare, and you was not awakened, I don't know what is gonna awake you. Because some of them just wanna, they find it beautiful that their own race of people is at the bottom and can do nothing collectively. And that's how they see the world, and that's how they want it to be. But if you say that you don't believe that and you still believe in your own people, they look at like you're crazy.
Yeah.
And sadness is from your own people.
It's really sad. But since the Most High has wakened me up, and some of you, my audience, will know my testimony. I was deep into Christianity, and somebody, a total stranger online, told me that I was Israelite, and I didn't believe it then and there. And the person was Nigerian, and when they told me I was Israelite, as I said, I didn't believe it, but they told me to get this book from Babylon to Timbuktu. And to make a long story short, I was traveling, I ordered the book, and I was transiting. I had 2 planes to take, and throughout the traveling, I was reading the book on the plane and while transiting, waiting in the airport. Time I get to my destination, I finish the book. Time I reach in my hotel, I finish the book. And when I finished that book, I started to cry. I cried. Because like I was saying earlier in the podcast, is that I had different emotions. I was happy, I was sad, I was angry. Different emotions because of not knowing, all this time wasted, now knowing I'm happy, and then angry of this truth being hidden from us. But now that I know the truth, and the Most High has brought me, opened my eyes, my purpose, not only in just serving the Most High and bringing glory to His name, I'm driven to tell my other Israelites that they are the people of the book, and it's time to wake up. I am driven to tell the 12 Negro tribes, you are the people of the book, and it's time to wake up. Time to come back into right standing with the Most High. And I know there's a lot of healing to be done, because it wasn't done overnight with me. The Most High had was to deal with me when it comes to Christian doctrine. It was hard. All the lies that have been told to us concerning the Sabbath and the laws, and all the dogma around Christianity, I had was to learn, unlearn and relearn. But my purpose, one of my purposes, is to wake up the 12 tribes, be part and parcel of this great awakening that is happening, that we are aware of. The Most High, Ezekiel 37, is coming to pass before our very eyes, as you know, Etienne, that the Most High is waking us up as a people, and we are driven, even the Negroes only crew driven, spreading this good news of who we are as a people, to get these sleeping masses to wake up. This is what we're all about, to wake up the 12 Negro tribes biblical tribes of Israel. This is what we are driven to do. And most of our friends and brothers and sisters of the Negroes Only crew have their own channels, and this is their niche. They are pushing it to get our people to wake up and come out of Christianity, come out of these false religions that haven't even told you were Israelite. They hid it. They told you the laws were done away with. They told us the Sabbath is no longer. We could worship on a Sunday. Our people are asleep and still in these dead churches, and it's our niche to tell them that they are the Israelites and it's time to wake up. As the scripture says, we need to cry aloud with a loud voice, telling our people who they are. Wake them up. Tell Israel who they are. Tell them of their sins and wake them up. So anybody who's coming to say Negro people are not the Israelites and who are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, and some of the tribes are still in the motherland, I am going to stand on my soapbox and proclaim who we are. And I'm not going to walk on eggshells for nobody who has a problem and want to say it's a hate crime and we are racist. Listen, I don't have time for that nonsense. The truth is the truth. The truth has no versions. If we are the people of the book, we are the people of the book. There's nothing people could say or try to change. We are the people of the book. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's true. And if I hear that how people, how should I say, there's so much, how should I say it, against the truth. Sometimes I'm willing to ask them, are you willing to look your great grandmother in the eye, great grandfather in the eye, and saying suffering was enough for nothing, and that you are alone, alive and well in this this time where with all this technology, and you don't have the guts to tell the truth? Like they suffered so much, so hard, all the things they went through, and you can look them in the eye and say, "Oh no, I was afraid for Esau than the other nation. Didn't dare to tell the truth. Your suffering was for nothing, and you died for nothing." Even though they broke the commandments, it's like, so you hate them so much that everything they went through to make you survive and make you, have a better standard of living, and you still wanna, forsake that? Can you look them in the eye and say, I know all this, but I didn't care. I didn't only care about me. Like, that's selfish. How can you look your forefathers and your foremothers in the eye and say, everything you went through, it was all for nothing. We have all this knowledge, but we're scared for the other nations.
Very good point. You know, that gets on my nerves. Every time, for instance, some of the Facebook groups I belong to, and you'll find people from all different walks at here, and you'll find different people have different beliefs and ideologies when it comes to who we are as a people. But when we're talking about who the Israelites are and what the Most High is doing amongst us as a people in this great awakening, He's waking us up. What gets on my nerves is, so what about the other nations? You need to focus on your people as Israelites. Try to get your people to wake up. Tell them the truth of who they are as a people. Try to get them, if they were in Christianity or into Islam, you try to help them to understand what is the requirement of knowing that you're an Israelite. It does not stop there. As we all know, once you find out it's not you're an Israelite and that's it, they have to unlearn the lies, and they need to get back in right standing with the Most High, because it's of our broken covenant. Our ancestors broke that covenant that we had with the Most High in the wilderness. That is why we are in this predicament today. So it's a whole paradigm shift they need. And this is where your energy should be, in getting your people awakened to this truth. The other nations there's an option for them to cleave, and they will cleave. Your standing or driven point should getting Israel wake up. The Apostle Paul said he wished above all things, he wished that Israel would be saved. And you could see that he had a love for his fellow Israelite people, that he wants them to get to know, come back to the Most High. those who were Hellenized and living as Greeks and whatever, he wanted them to come back to the Most High. And this should be our drive as a people. In the Old Testament, it said when Cain killed Abel, and the Most High came asking, what did he say? Am I my brother's keeper? But yes, it's a big loud yes. We are our brother's keeper. And it's not just finding out that you're an Israelite and not doing anything about it, because I am grateful at the end that, and to my listeners, that somebody told me, they had the courage to tell me that I was an Israelite. Now that I'm an Israelite, the gift keeps going on. You need to tell somebody. Tell another Israelite that you're an Israelite. Tell them that they are the descendants of the transatlantic slave trade. Our identity have been hidden for years. Our identity have been stolen. And tell them however the Most High used you to tell them the truth. And this is what we should be focused on, not about the other nations. And the people might find that it's hate. It's not hate. It's not about the other nations.
Yeah, whether they hear or forbear. And that's what it's all about. Even if they hate you, don't like you, you have told them the truth.
Correct.
And the truth is more important than your feelings. I care more about your the truth and your salvation than how you might feel.
Yes.
So speaking about feeling, how did our forefathers and foremothers feel when they went through all this? They couldn't do nothing, but you can do something about it, and you still choose to remain silent. That's the spirit of a coward, and we have not got that spirit in us, because we have been through so much, and still we're, surviving in this world, and still you won't have that cowardly spirit. That you're not good to be amongst us.
I think the Most High, in spite of all the challenges we have as a people, and we have a long way to go still, we have a very long way to go. He's bringing us full circle. And as in Ezekiel 37, when he asked the prophet that, can these bones live? And the prophet said, yeah, only you knowest. Because when he looked at it as it was hopeless. But the Most High tell him, prophesy to these bones. And when he obeyed and he prophesied, he saw that the bones came together, flesh coming up on the bones stand up, and it became exceeding great army. And this is what he's doing within these days in this great awakening. In spite of the challenges we have as a people, in spite of the pitfalls that we are having, the Most High is bringing us back together. And sometimes we might look at the situation with our physical eyes or fleshly eyes and say, this is looking real hard, this is a real big job. But when you think about it, he is bringing it together. A people that they called wasn't a people, or they say we weren't a people and we were this and we were that. And they had us enslaved all these years, picking the cotton, and as in the Caribbean, because I'm a Trini and I'm from the islands, they had us cutting their sugar cane. Look how much years fast forward where we are today. Yes, we are not in slavery and we still have a way to go, as I said before. But we have seen where the Most High is beginning to take off the shackles. The shackles came off physically, but we need to get the shackles off of our minds. And he has already begun the work, because I'm seeing, in spite of the challenges we have with some of our other Israelite brothers and sisters who are still asleep, the ones who are awakened, you could see they have embraced the truth. They come back to the commandments, they're keeping the commandments, they're keeping the Sabbath, they're spending time in the script, they're paying it forward by telling another Israelite who they are, and they're doing what is necessary to get us back up on our feet, because everyone have to do their part. Each one have to teach one. And having done all, the Most High will do the rest. And you could see he's doing something amongst us, as we could see the awakening is happening. And one thing I wanted to say is that I recently started over my Facebook page. And when I started, I had people to my page to populate my page, my Facebook page again, my friends list. And I was so amazed how big the Israelite community is, the true Israelite community. Before, my old page was a Christian page because I was into Christianity, and my page was flooded with Christian people. But once I crossed over into the truth and I put aside that whole Facebook page and I started a new page, I started to realize, Etienne, how big the Israelite community. And I know it's not limited to Facebook, but I'm seeing where we as a people are enlarged. We are a huge community. We are very huge. And when we're thinking it's not much of us, it's many of us have already waken up. And this is all praises to the Most High Yah for what He's doing amongst us as a people. I'm so excited. I'm really excited of what He's doing.
Yeah, definitely. That how to say it, He's waking up, waking us in great numbers, and this truth is getting out, whether they like it or not, because they always keep lying on us and always keep telling us, and like I'm here in the Netherlands, and they always talk about the Ish people, about Anna Frank, and how we should have sympathy for them. They went so through a lot, and they always talk about the Second World War. I'm like, I'm here, and you're awakening, and it's a horrible spirit, because like these people talking about the so-called Ish people, but when we talk about our suffering, they don't care. We just need to stop talking about it. Like, get over it. It's been so long. But when you're talking about the Ish people and the Second World War, that's recently.
So want us to get over 400 plus years of slavery. All these millions, they can't get over 6 million Ish people died, right? But they want us to get over much more than 6 million.
Yeah, hundreds of millions, and they owe us trillions of, I don't know how many trillions of dollars, and how the physically, mentally, emotional damage that's been done to us, it's out of this world. They can't pay us enough. So when they talk about get over it, it's impossible, because you brought us to the depths of hell, and then you say get over it. And we always should have sympathy for them. And I'm tired. I don't want to give sympathy to nobody that doesn't give nothing to me, because they always say that we are unhumane and they're humane, but it's actually the other way around. They're unhumane and we're humane, because we have sympathy, and we have sympathy for everybody. But nobody has sympathy for us but themselves. Always feel sympathy for everybody else. When all these bad things happen to us, you know what the most people are saying online? They laugh and mock at us. Look at these Negroes. They're nothing. But when something goes down with them, we should cry. No, I don't cry for you. You didn't cry for me. Why should I cry for you?
Exactly. That is why when I see other Israelites, people keep asking, what about the other nations? Man, Etienne, that gets me so angry, because when they should be focused on their own people, they study about the other nation. When we was in slavery, where were the other nations? They didn't care about us. It had so many other nations, the Asians, the Mexicans, the whoever. Why didn't all of them rally up together and try to save us? None of them wanted to save us. Nobody cared about us when we were in slavery. But our people have a tendency to our study. So what about the other nations? Come on, we need to grow up. Stop focusing on other nations who don't care anything about us in the first place. And as soon as Israelite people realize that other nations do not care about us, you're going to see a different paradigm shift. We're quick to study what other nations think when it comes to us, but we realize that it doesn't really matter. They don't really care anything about us. We all need to have that different shift about when it comes to these other nations.
No, it's like yeah, how to say it? We have this slave mentality. We care about everybody, but how should I say it? When we went all through all these things, they never cared, and that's like the mind of a slave. Because if you know who you are, and you know who you are as a race of people, and you have a ruling class mentality, like we only think about our people and our people alone, then you will think very different about yourself, and that's what they don't want to do because they always want to have sympathy for them. But that's not how we should be because nobody has sympathy for us. So we have to be conscious and love ourselves and be and how to say support ourselves because that's the biggest strength that we love ourselves and evolve ourselves and that we get higher and higher, that we don't see them as better as ourselves, and that's what it is. We got very low self-esteem, and slavery truly has destroyed us because we never ever got over that trauma.
Yeah.
We always had to suck it up and move forward, but a lot of us it has totally broken down until this day. We're amongst them, and they mock and laugh at us, and it's especially if you're around them, then I feel sorry for you because that can be hell. So that's why the Most High say, don't how should come out of her and be separate, because they he didn't always let us know how he truly feel about you, especially when you're angry and things are not going his way. He definitely let us know how he truly feels.
In closing, after you said that, the first scripture come to my mind. The script said we are a royal priesthood, and Israelites have to realize who we are as a people. We are the salt of the earth. How could you have to know your identity in this world. If somebody have lied to you about your identity and you don't know who you are, and after coming into your identity, it gives you a sense of belonging, it gives you a sense of pride, and you will look at how did my ancestors get themselves in this predicament in the first place. And when you go to the script and you realize the requirements for us to get back in right standing with the Most High, because you're happy that you know who you are and you feel redeemed in some way, you're going to turn to these things and get yourself back together. You're a blessed people, the salt of the earth. And it's time we embrace our true identity as the people of the book. When our ancestors ruled the earth in the ancient time, back in the days, and they were keeping these commandments and serving the Most High, we ruled as kings and queens on this face of the earth. The Most High chased our enemies away from us. No one could have touched us. We ruled and governed as a people because we chose to obey the Most High and serve Him as in the letter of the word. And as the script says, as the way He intended us to serve Him. It's about time Israel know who they are and get back in right standing with the Most High by keeping His laws, His statutes and His commandments, by keeping His Sabbaths holy, because that is how the world will know who we are. We'll be identified by His Sabbaths when we keep it, by acknowledging Yahshua HaMashiach as our atonement for sins, right? And this is where we have to get back as a people. We cannot look to our left or right or what other nation hates us or who don't want us to say or talk the truth or speak the truth of who we are. We are who we are, and that settles it. And as time goes by, there will be other guests on the podcast that will be invited to speak more on these things. This is just the first of many, and we'll go more into depth as the time goes by. And we're going to see the true nature and the true identity of these true biblical Israelites and what the Most High is doing in this awakening and in this last and closing days. Because the awakening has begun and there's nobody could stop it. As prophesied by the prophets of old, it has already begun. And the wheels are set in motion and it cannot be stopped. You all have been listening to Straight Talk, No Chaser. And I want to thank Brother Etienne for joining me on my first podcast. I really appreciate my brother for attending, and I want to thank my listening audience for tuning in. And some of you who will be hearing the sound of my voice might end up being on my podcast. Those who are in the group, those who are Negro only I'll be inviting a few amount of guests to the podcast so we could just talk about anything that concerns us as a Hebrew nation, and we're going to discuss it without fear or favor, and we're going to keep it real. So thank you again, my brother Etienne. And may the Most High continue to bless the 12 tribes of Israel scattered abroad. Shalom.
Shalom. Hallelujah.